Unico. Unico. It means unique in Italian. It's Unico. Unico. Together as one for generations to come.
I started nationally as the director and chairman of the mental health, and it was that was the warmest thing to me to present a check to a mental health association.
The satisfaction of knowing that your efforts are helping those who can't help themselves.
There are those that are less fortunate than us, and myself, and we owe something to society.
Camaraderie, friendship, family. 3 words.
That's the Italian way.
Hi, I'm Michael Battalucco, and I'm a proud member of Unico National. It is with great pleasure that I introduce you to Unico National and its vision and mission of preserving, protecting, and promoting Italian history, language, and culture in America. As our nation's largest Italian-American service organization, Unico National invites all corporations, foundations, organizations, and individuals to partner with us in our commitment to education and charity.
We're very supportive of one another's, the good things in their lives and the sad things in their lives. And we work very hard together to come together to make people feel better, to offer comfort, aid, and assistance within our community.
Service above self is Unico National's motto, and it's the sacred creed that all Unico members across the United States live by.
My chapter of Unico National has a holiday party for the mentally challenged. At that party, we serve dinner to about 350 people.
Today, Unico combats enemies that strike at the heart of all Americans. Unico supports research hospital centers and programs that combat cancer, heart disease, and mental illness.
Unico and the V Foundation has a great relationship. We both are very passionate about what we're trying to do. The Unico model of service above self really is very applicable to what the foundation is doing.
My sister was diagnosed with breast cancer, and within 3 months she had passed away. And it just means so much to me now, and I know I can raise some money, watch this research take place. Hopefully it won't happen to somebody else.
Unico, I want to thank you for helping us in our fight against cancer.
We need your help. I need your help. We need money for research. It may not save my life. It may save my children's lives. It may save someone you love.
From the V Foundation for Cancer Research to researching a cure for the dreaded Cooley's anemia, Unico National's millions of dollars in contributions through the years has been life-affirming.
Looking back into history, when Unico first started to support the research for Cooley's anemia, youngsters weren't living past the age of 7 or 10 years old. Because of the research, now we have folks that are living into their 50s and 60s, and they're getting married and they're having children. So this is one of the projects that we are so very proud of.
The Unico Foundation, established in 1961, is the nonprofit charitable vehicle of Unico National. The Unico Foundation, along with Unico National districts and chapters, has donated tens of millions of dollars to various charities. Unico National's commitment of service to America is a never-ending story of devotion. The origin of Unico dates back to the Roaring '20s. The organization was born out of discrimination against Italian Americans. A young 31-year-old physician and skilled surgeon named Dr. Anthony Vastola was denied membership in a social organization in Waterbury, Connecticut, simply because he was of Italian descent.
He was a great doctor of reputation, and yet he found himself outside the business community because he happened to be an Italian American.
Determined not to let the mindless prejudice of the era defeat him, Dr. Vastola brought 14 upstanding Italian-American men together to form the first chapter of Unico in 1922.
He had the foresight to see that the way to do it is to get professionals, people of his Italian-American heritage together. We're going to become part of the community, and we're going to do it through charitable endeavors.
With integrity, dignity, and faith in justice, these founding fathers of Unico stood like a beacon of light against the dark defamation of Italian Americans. By their exemplary service to their community and their outspoken stance against bias and discrimination against individuals of Italian ancestry. Almost simultaneously, in 1931, a young visionary Italian-American leader in Omaha, Nebraska, named Antonio R. Rizzuto, founded a very similar Italian-American service organization called the National Italian Civic League. Over the next 2 decades, the number of Unico chapters grew, and so did the National Italian Civic League, boasting chapters in more than 15 cities in the West. Then, on Independence Day, July 4th, 1947, Dr. Vastola and Antonio Rizzuto brought their organizations together at a convention in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and Unico National was born.
About 30 years ago, the officers were celebrating the 50th anniversary of Unico in Connecticut, near Waterbury, which was the founder's home. The president at that time, Dr. Bazil, had arranged for us to visit Dr. Vastola. He was about 90 years old at that time, and we went to his home with Joe Kosher, who became a national president, Tony Fernelli, who became a national president, Mary Albi, who became a national president, and myself. We saw Dr. Vastola, and I was really in awe. It's like meeting a president of the United States, maybe meeting George Washington, because here was the man who founded this organization that we love so much. And what was interesting, he was pretty much emotional about it. And here we were supposed to be questioning him, and he was doing most of the questioning. He wanted to know how we felt about it, what we were doing. He would never expect in his greatest dreams, as he said, that the organization would come this far. But here he was 90 years old. He had his great wit about him. It was just a memorable, moving experience. You could see it in his eyes.
And it's really great that I'm getting a scholarship having to do with my Italian heritage, and I just feel very happy and supported by this community.
One of the most outstanding expressions of Unico National and its chapters are the scores of annual scholarships it gives to Italian-American students and professionals in all fields of endeavor.
It began when Unico awarded me a scholarship in 1999. I graduated from high school, and I just graduated from Georgetown this past couple of weeks ago, actually. Degree in finance, and I'm going on to law school. It was just such an honor to get the scholarship, because my Italian heritage is such a huge part of me.
A scholarship is a gift awarded to a student who excels in a specific field. This particular scholarship is named after my grandfather, an individual who excelled every day of his life with his dedication to his family, to his business, and to his community. Tonight, it is my honor, on behalf of my family, to present the Finny J. Alati Memorial Scholarship to Michael Patrick Corrente.
It means so much to me to get some recognition for both academics and community service, and it means a lot to be part of a big tradition, especially here at Unico, a great organization, and it provides a lot of pride in Italian-American heritage.
From the Brian Piccolo Memorial for Athletics to the late Connecticut Governor Ella T. Grasso Literary Award, from the Guglielmo Marconi Science Award to the Joseph P. Cianci Humanitarian Award.
Unico, through its Marconi Award, is able to recognize an Italian-American scientist. And that's a great thing because the scientists contribute sometimes more than others, but they're just not recognized for it. So Unico keeps the Italian-American heritage by honoring these different people.
Unico National recognizes individuals annually, regardless of race, religion, gender, or national origin, who have contributed to the well-being of mankind as well as to the advancement of Italian culture in our country and abroad.
What Unico has done in the last 12 years, we have funded 4 Italian study chairs, and now we're working on one in Montclair, New Jersey.
It is the goal of Unico to establish permanent Italian studies chairs in every state in America.
Seton Hall University and Unico National are great friends and wonderful partners in a very exciting enterprise, educating our students in Italian language, culture, history, and politics.
Beginning in 1986 to the present, Unico has raised several $1 million in order to establish 4 permanent chairs or professorships in Italian studies in universities nationwide.
I teach courses in Italian history from the fall of the Roman Empire down to the present. Their scientific discoveries, their works of art, their poetry, their literature, their advances in the fields of economics.
What has the greatest appeal to most of our members is that this essentially is a proactive form of anti-bias.
You want to stop negative stereotyping? You want to stop all this nonsense? You have to do it through education. And Unico is doing that.
By endowing chairs, by supporting Italian American studies, they are creating an awareness in all America that Italian American culture is American culture.
We thank Unico National for partnering with Seton Hall to provide the best education for our students.
This means that the Italian language, history, and culture will be offered as a course of study to students of all backgrounds, now and forever.
Our chapters have to do more with our young people to bring them up in the spirit of Vistola and Unico, to teach them about their heritage. If they're not getting it in their schools, we have a responsibility to teach them about the positive things of Italian Americans, not what they see on television, not what they see in the movies.
Unico was founded in 1922 because of the overt discrimination that Italian Americans experienced in this country. Unfortunately, that discrimination still exists today. For years, we've been wringing our hands to watch the Italian-American character, culture, persona literally raped in the electronic and print media.
This country is entertainment-oriented and very simplistic, and it's become entertainment. Why, I do not understand.
Come on, don't be like that. Don't be like that.
And we say, that's not us, that's not us, that's not us.
In the aftermath of more than 750 films and TV programs made since The Godfather, depicting Italians as gangsters, uneducated, and immoral, Unico National's Anti-Bias Committee has established itself as perhaps our nation's premier fighting force against bias and injustice against Italian Americans. Consisting of a virtual army of professional men and women from across our nation, these online fighters against injustice combat the almost daily negative stereotyping of Italian Americans in the media.
Thanks to Unico National and its Anti-Bias Committee, headed up by Dr. Emanuele Fano, the message is getting out there.
I prefer we use the term Italian Americans.
And it needs to be understood that this is not just one community standing up for its own dignity, but it's America. Americans need to stand up for the dignity of America. And the dignity of America is not to castigate and not to stereotype and not to paint with one brush any people.
We may be different in one way, but we have a lot of things in common, and we have a lot of problems and goals that we have to overcome. And I
thank you. Thank you for what you do.
We can't lose our Italian American heritage or culture. And again, that's where Unico steps in.
Italian is the language of poetry. Italian is the language of music. Italian is the language of art. Increasing our students' appreciation of world languages and cultures is of extraordinary importance. And there's been no time in the world's history when that understanding and appreciation has been more important than it is today.
It began with the first conference on the subject in Rome in 1987. Today, 16 years later, we are pleased to announce that working closely with the Italian government, we have been able to create finalmente the first advanced placement program in the Italian language in high schools in the United States.
Italians and Italian Americans should be very proud to be the first in the new AP effort. You lead the way. I want to thank you, Mr. Prime Minister, and the Italian government for the generous financial support to create the first advanced placement course in the Italian language and culture. You make this a very special day for the College Board and the students of America. Grazie.
To accomplish our goal, it was imperative to enlist the assistance of Unico National, which has worked so hard on behalf of all Italian Americans to preserve and promote magnificent Italian culture. So please welcome Unico National's immediate past president, Mr. John Alati.
For the past 81 years, Unico National has developed a rich tradition and legacy in promoting our Italian heritage and culture through a pathway guided by education. To provide an opportunity for the youth of America to study the beautiful Italian language is a glowing achievement for all of us here this morning. It has been a privilege for Unico National to participate with the Italian government, the College Board, Governor Caperton, my dear friends Frank Marini and Joe Sciammi on the creation of this most meaningful program. Mrs. Cuomo's quiet determination and leadership in bringing together the major Italian American organizations was instrumental in the creation of this program. Matilda, we could not have done it without you.
Unico National has to be commended because they realize the wonderful legacy that they're leaving by getting so very involved.
On behalf of all the members of Unico National, thank you very much.
As a woman, I never thought of myself separate and distinct from the rest of the men.
Unico has been in the forefront of bringing women into the organization. That is a relatively new phenomenon.
Becoming a member of Unico, you get to be with your community and people that you know and that you've grown up with, and it feels fun.
You know, it started as a men's organization and became somewhat chauvinistic in its attitudes.
What touched me the most is when I first attended a chapter meeting. I went as a guest, and I was just so impressed with the warmth of the people.
I never felt discriminated against. I was embraced in San Diego as a member.
Although I didn't really know these people, I felt I had known them all my life.
As president, you have been elected to the highest office a chapter may confer upon any of its members. The chapter reposes great trust and confidence in you as its leader.
I think the future of Unico is in women.
My father coming here from Italy, I just get to expand on being Italian and embracing what being Italian is, and it's very exciting.
I'm looking to start a new chapter on Long Island in the Islip, Smithtown area, and I'm going to have a goal to have as many women as possible.
I would now ask you to please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I'm Lydia Barbara Bashman.
Having been elected to the office of president.
Having been elected to the office of president.
I think women bring organization, women bring another side of things, and I think it's nice that both paths now can kind of intermingle.
You feel a lot of pride by being a member of Unico.
And I think that's an amazing step forward for our group.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the duly installed president of Verona Unico, Lydia Barbara Bashman.
Everything revolves around the family and the table, right? An Italian family. So even in Unico, you come together, and they're dinner meetings, right? They're not just meetings; they're dinner meetings. So you come around, you have wine, you break bread, and you share.
My parents coming over from Italy, I think that as a first-generation Italian, we actually have maybe even a stronger feeling or connection with our roots in Italy.
I live away from my immediate family, so most of my Italian relatives no longer live in the same city I live in. So this is great for me because it gives me a place to be like I'm at home.
It's like having extended family all over the country.
All the people who are a little older than me are like my aunts and uncles. All the people who are my age are like my cousins.
During my year as national president, I was in California 13 times. Those friendships you don't forget.
I've become an Italian by marrying the Paganucci family. My wife's grandfather, like 1887, came to San Antonio and had actually the first fruit stand on Alamo Plaza. Genesi Paganucci.
If you've ever wanted to have a thrill, it's listening to a Texan with a Texas accent speaking with an Italian accent as well.
Unico is a magnificent organization. It offers you the chance to celebrate your proud heritage while benefiting other people.
Unico, it's about character. It's about dignity. It's about service and devotion to society.
Columbus's legacy has been honored for over 80 years by Unico, which started in 1922 in Waterbury, Connecticut. This is our 20th year in New York City, the biggest parade in the country.
I'm proud to say that I'm a Unican, I'm proud to say I'm Italian American, and I'm proud to say I'm walking today in Columbus Day Parade.
Best place in the world, the Fifth Avenue, the greatest avenue in the United States.
City Parade happens to be our national flagship parade. Parades are one of the main functions that we celebrate, but in addition to parades, there's so much more that should be done. We need to get out to the grassroots. We need to get out to all the monuments that are out there throughout the nation to revive the old traditions of celebrating Columbus Day, to do wreath-laying ceremonies, to ask mayor and councils for their proclamation of the day. And on a national level, we also need to get to the state to ask the governors of our great country to proclaim the month of October as Italian Heritage and Culture Month. We have begun this initiative, and I'm proud to report that we have 4 states in the Northeast that have this Italian Heritage and Culture Month.
Hey, I'm proud to be Italian. Born an Italian, I'll die an Italian.
We love Unico! We love the parade! Viva Italia!
Proud to be a part of Unico and all the good work it does, and it's a very proud day to express your pride in being Italian American. I brought my son Anthony, and he also marched with me in the parade, and trying to keep that tradition alive. 4th generation already in the United States.
We're proud to continue a long tradition started back in 1984, and we're continuing the tradition right here in New York City, the capital of the world, celebrating Columbus. Unico's right there at the forefront.
Oh, it was great. I loved it. It was so much fun. I felt like a true Italian American.
Future Unican.
Today, thousands of upstanding men and women have dedicated themselves to the mission and vision of Unico National. 16 states in our nation has thriving Unico chapters.
What I really like about it, again, is the sense of the Italian family. We have young people in Unico, we have older folks who've long since retired, and then we have just working people, all ages.
There is something about, doing good deeds in the community, but you do a little bit more when the people that are around you share a bond.
So you have that cross-section of the Italian-American community.
It's really family.
It's just a great sense of camaraderie.
And I think that's what separates us from the Lions, the Kiwanis, the Rotarians.
When we get together with other people from all over the nation here, and you find that people from San Antonio, from California, from New Jersey or Massachusetts, we have the same goals. We appreciate our heritage. We talk about the enrichment that our heritage and our culture has brought to this country. And we realize that Italian culture has contributed so much to the American way of life.
I'm so happy that I joined Unico, to the exclusion of many other groups that could have been involved with and did not, because the friendships and the loyalties of the people that I've met through the years.
There's 24 million Italian Americans. 10% of that, boy, wouldn't it be a beautiful world if we can have that many Unicans that get up every day and they want to help society, help the less fortunate.
Working together with individuals who have the same feelings, have the same hopes, wishes that you have.
And have this common thread of what Fastol thought about it.
It's the greatest tonic in the world to break bread with your fellow Italo-Americans from all over the country.
So once again, I invite you to join Unico National in our dedication to our nation, to our Italian heritage, legacy, language, and culture, and especially to the lives of our neighbors.
I feel in a way Unico is perfect. The way every day they get up and think of how they're going to give back to society, how they're going to give to charity, and how they're going to take our ancestors' dreams and courage and what they brought to the States through to the following generations going forward.
It's not what we can get out of the organization, it's what we can give to the organization.
This is Michael Badalucco speaking on behalf of Unico National. Join us in our 80-plus years of devotion to society and to being charitable to others. I assure you, it will enrich your life and enable you to deeply touch others.